Joining me now from Boca Raton, Florida, attorney and founder of FairDUI.org, Warren Redlich. Warren, I want to talk about the constitutionality of DUI checkpoints in a moment, but first this issue regarding New York police and its legal threat against Google and the app Waze. They want Google to stop revealing the location of police checkpoints. There are many constitutional elements in play here, but it seems as though this portion of it is a First Amendment issue. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely. That's correct. You have the right to say whatever you want, as long as you're not harming someone, as long as you're not, shouting the famous shouting fire in a crowded theater. You're certainly free to hold the sign. I've seen videos where people hold up signs in advance of a checkpoint warning people there's a checkpoint ahead. It's absolutely protected First Amendment speech.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I want to walk through this a little bit here. Correct me if I'm wrong, but DUI checkpoints are published prior to them being set up. It may be just an hour before, or maybe a half hour before, minutes before, but they are published prior to, correct?
Not in New York City, no. But in general, in most places in the country where they at least try to follow the Constitution, advance publicity, public notice is often a day or two or more ahead of time. I've seen notices a week ahead. Hey, we're going to be doing a checkpoint at this location. There's a lot of publicity. And the courts have said that it's essentially a requirement that you provide advance publicity for a checkpoint in order to make it constitutional.
Except in the People's Republic of New York City, apparently. Now, the acting deputy commissioner of the New York Police Department is talking about this from a criminal perspective, that is publishing information about DUI checkpoints, in part reading individuals who post the locations of DWI checkpoints may be engaging in criminal conduct. How exactly, in your mind, is it criminal activity to exercise your First Amendment rights if you know that there's a DUI checkpoint at a certain location?
It isn't, and I can't think of a New York statute. I currently live in Florida, but I've been a New York attorney for years, and I've done a lot of criminal cases, and I've never seen that case in New York. I don't know where Ms. Prunty is coming from.
This is an important battle, is it not? I don't often agree with Google and what it does, and certainly how it skews its searches, but from a constitutional perspective, this is an important battle, is it not?
I think the whole checkpoint thing is an important battle, and it starts with, if you read the Fourth Amendment, you're not supposed to be stopped, which is what a checkpoint is more the stop than the search, without a reason. In other words, you have to have done something to provoke the stop. And the Supreme Court in 1990 made an exception, what I would call an activist judges who happen to be conservative, who decided, well, we're going to bend the Fourth Amendment for this. And in following that, a lot of courts made a whole bunch of rules about, okay, if you're going to do this, you got to do it right. And NYPD doesn't care about doing it right at all. And that's a long conversation about what NYPD does wrong in checkpoints.
But when we approach a DUI checkpoint and we pull into that, most Americans are compelled to follow the orders of the police officer, roll down the window. But as soon as you roll down the window, that's the mistake, right? That's the probable cause you've given the police. And if you do not roll down the window, I'm talking in general here, state by state. I know it's a little bit different, but in general, am I correct on this?
So first of all, you get to the point about, there's a checkpoint, and all the Supreme Court said was they could conduct a checkpoint. There's actually a case, I think it was in Kansas, where one of the judges said, it's not even clear that people have to stop for the checkpoint. You can have your checkpoint, but if somebody refuses to stop and drives through, it's not clear that that's a violation. Getting to this question about rolling down the window, I'm a big proponent. This is my big thing, is don't roll down your window. You take this flyer and you hold it up in the window, and it says, I remain silent, no searches, I want my lawyer. And it actually gives instructions to the police. And the idea of this is, once you roll down your window, they can smell inside the car and then claim that they smelled alcohol. They did this with Tiger Woods, by the way, even though he didn't have any alcohol. They claimed they smelled alcohol. It's a very common lie in a bad police DUI arrest.
And I've been on your website, and you break it down almost state by state. You have a lot of different states on it. What is your website? Because I know we're going to get hammered with inquiries on this. What's your website?
The website is FairDUI.org, and we have, I believe, 30 states, the flyer up for 30 states. I would encourage anyone who's going to use it to check with a local lawyer before they do so, because I'm probably not a lawyer in your state.
All right. Google has the first, but the bottom line is Google has a First Amendment right to advertise and let people know about it, and we have a Fourth Amendment right to just say no. Warren, thank you.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.